Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How's it going on this beautiful Wednesday? Let's wait for some people to kind of come on in. I got my coffee. That's why just like 1 minute late. I was getting my coffee. So, Lori, good morning. She's got all the beautiful links up here. Let's kind of look at all this right here. There we go. Pop that one up there. Our co-host is away from the computer right now. Going to set everything. So there's a couple things I want to end up talking about. So let me just kind of get to my beginning here. There we go. So I leave tomorrow morning. I'm going down to, here he is right here. Let me just bring him on in here. Drum roll, please. Boom! Hey. What's up?
Feeding fish. Forgot about it. What's going on?
That's okay. I was like getting coffee, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I have to hurry up and go. He's got Coca-Cola that's early in the morning.
I've been up for 4 hours, dude. It's lunchtime.
How are you doing this morning?
Not so bad. Took my wife to Wadena, where she had to be fingerprinted for work federally, and we had breakfast. And
because she's in the healthcare field.
Yep, she's an RN.
Let's just clarify that.
Yep, she works for hospice. Yeah, just started there, and you have to do a state fingerprinting and then a federal. And so she had to get an appointment for the federal fingerprinting, which took quite a while. So, and with a broken foot, I got up and drove her to work this morning. And
she has a doctor's appointment, right, for that?
Yep, this afternoon, 3:00.
3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to yell at her for walking around, aren't they?
Absolutely, they should.
Do you allow her to walk around, or you just go over and say, yes, go and do it?
No, I just yell at her. Every time I come by, I go, sit down on your butt.
Might as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just saying that I am leaving tomorrow morning to go down to Louisiana for Aqua-Fest 2023. Yay. Let me see if I can pop this up quick. Let me share the screen.
Are you going to go down and get some crawdads?
I don't eat my friends.
Friends or relatives of friends, right?
I've never been a big seafood person. Like, I've had shrimp, I've had lobster, I've had the stuff. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm a texture person. So when I try any of that type of stuff, it reminds me of a juicy booger.
I'm not even going to ask how you know what a juicy booger tastes like, but
yeah, I was a kid at once, you know. But I'm a texture person. It just doesn't like sushi. I've had sushi quite a few times. I've had sushi on, when I went down to Cabo and everything else. But that's a texture thing too. There's too many textures in one bite that it's too overwhelming for me, so I don't like it.
I agree.
I'm a meat and potato type person. But here's the thing. So when we get down there, so I go down there on Thursday. Timmy from Pet World is going to be down there. Eric Lucas. So Timmy's going to be down there by the time I get down there. Eric Lucas from BuyPetShrimp.com is flying in there at the same time. Chance Kramer is going to be there at 4:30, I think. Jennifer Williams is landing at 10:30. So I have different people landing at different times and stuff. So we're trying to all coordinate where we're all going to hang out and stuff. But Friday, we get to the show. We start setting up. Timmy and I are going to hit a couple stores, visiting stores. And then I'm doing it again where someone says I take a sip every time. We're going to have catfish and jambalaya on Friday. That's the host brings it on in. They did get the same food truck that they did last year for me because I love their red beans and rice. I spent more money at the food truck than I did that I made. So yeah, I get a lot of that, and then there's supposed to be a block party, I think it is, where we had a pizza at another place, and they have a block party, so we got to figure out where we're going to hang out on Sunday or Saturday. Sunday is the last day of the show. We break down the show, and then Monday we're going fishing.
Sweet.
So that was the big thing, and then Tuesday we fly back. So let's look at this. So this is April 15th and 16th from 11 to 5. If you guys are down in the area, I'd love for you guys to stop on by. It's down at the Slidell. It's at the North Shore Harbor Center, which is just right across the bridge, Lake Pontchartrain, which is super cool. I've been advertising this for a while now. Coral View is going to be the main sponsor. There's Jennifer. There's Chance. We just talked about the aquascaping down in Aqua-Fest as well last night. We had a big live with Sean Hale. Here's some of the vendors that are coming down there. We all know a lot of them that are going down there. So we know Sue from Seacam. We know Buy Pet Shrimp. There's myself. We have Liquid Gardens hopping down there. Pet World of Lawrence is going down there. Where's Owasi? Oh, this is Will the Thrill. Will the Thrill for Quantum. He's bringing a new saltwater salt in. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Let me just go right up to the top right here. Keep this going on here for a while. I'm super excited for it. I'm ready to leave. I got my bags halfway packed. Halfway
packed. Now remember, when you go to the airport, they say, "Did you pack your bags yourself?" You always say yes, regardless if you didn't.
Because they're gonna flag you. I get flagged like when I came back from Germany. I came back with a lot of different stuff. I came back with some sausages. I came back with shit I wasn't supposed to bring back. So whenever I go out of country, I get flagged automatically. Freaking search his stuff. He came back with 30 bottles of liquor, and my bag weighed 150 pounds. You got a lot of stuff. I got cheese that got confiscated. I got plants. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it's something where it's just like I'm super happy to be leaving for a bit. I think I need a small break from the Minnesota weather, the fluctuation. Now it's in the 70s, so it's really nice. But we did get some snow and stuff, so before. Now it's all melting. Now we're going to deal with the flood. Let me see who else is all in here. We have a Facebook user. Seafood is the best kind of food. Good morning. Headed there now. So someone's headed there now. Oh, Louise, are you headed to Louisiana or are you headed to the store here? Who knows? We'll find out.
You'll find out when the door gets kicked in and it ain't the police.
I'm getting, what is it called? Squad raided? I'm getting raided. What is it called? They were doing?
Is that where they kick in the door and shoot you and then ask questions later?
Yeah, something like that.
That's Minneapolis, yeah.
That's Minneapolis. So, but yeah, this is something that I've been looking forward to. They're building up the show, to be super cool down in Louisiana. And then after that, we have Aqua-Fest in Dallas that I'll be attending and stuff. So I'll have a booth down there. I'll be also attending for JBJ. I'll be working the JBJ booth, and then I'll have the employee working the Joe Shrimp Shack booth. I will not be doing an aquascape in Dallas. We talked to Sean, and they're going to take the top 3 aquascapers from last year in Chicago, which we got second place, and we're going to get granted to go to Daytona, so we don't have to. They don't really call it pre-qualify. So they only have 2 shows this year. So they're doing 12 aquascapes in Dallas, and they're going to do possibly more in Daytona. So what they're doing is they're taking the top 3 aquascapes that were in Dallas, and they're going to bring them over there where they have to do a second aquascape. So we got granted that we didn't have to do a second aquascape because I have a team. I have 3 people. So it's tough getting 3 people down there for 2 different shows. So
now, are you going to do both Dallas and Florida, Daytona?
Well, I'm going to be doing JBJ is going to be doing the Dallas show with Joe, and then Joe Shrimp Shack has a booth there too. Daytona, they reserved a spot. JBJ reserved a spot. They haven't got back to me with what they want to do for Daytona, so I don't know if they're sending me down there or what. Either way, it's like I'm talking to my team right now, like, hey, can we work this all out? Maybe it's one of those things where everybody knows Will. I go see Will the Thrill for a week prior, help him out at a zoo and stuff, and then he just drives me up. I have to work it all out. I mean, we just had the talk last night, ended at like 9:30. So
you just had the talk last night at 9:30. The talk.
We had the talk. That's
good. That's good because if you're going out of town, I want to make sure you've had the talk.
Yes. Oh, it was Sue. Sue from Seacam. She's watching. Hi, Sue. She's heading to Louisiana there right now. Perfect. So, and then everybody knows Sue is coming here for the show in June 3rd. Everybody loves Sue. Also, Sue, we are going to be going over, and Tim and myself are going to probably be hitting some stores Friday morning. If you're interested, we'll hook up tomorrow and at the hotel and stuff, and see if you want to go with us to some of the stores that are around there. Why not? It's always better when you have more people.
That's right.
So what else we have going on? We have Corey. Good morning, Corey. Yes, can't wait for your show. Awesome. So I did do a small snippet. So this is what Sue is going to be doing for the Minnesota show. So the Minnesota show, I'm trying to pop it up here. Minnesota Great Get Together right there. Sue is going to be offering the first 50 people to stop at her table booth, however she sets it up in Minnesota, is going to receive an extra special prize gift. Something like that.
A gift.
What do you call it? A gift.
Door prize? Door prize?
Door prize. Well, we're outside. You can't really call it a door prize.
I mean, I'm just assuming that it's going to be something spectacular, like maybe a 75-inch TV, like 50 of them. Just hand them out.
Wow. I think Sue would lose her job if she gave 50 70-inch TVs.
There we go. I'm trying to help. That's what I'm here for.
Oh my God. I'm already sweating on that one. No, it's gonna be something super special from there. Sue, could you do me a favor? I've been wanting this. You guys have those coffee cups. I want one of them. I don't got one of those. I want one of those coffee cups. So she says great idea for the TVs and stuff. I mean, what we could do, Jim, is we could do the TVs, but she'll use your credit card.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. As long as I win one, I'm happy.
As long as you got it. Oh, I suppose you'll be there because you're setting up your booth.
Yeah, we don't have any TVs here at my house, so.
Perfect. So let's see who else came in. So Corey came in. Good morning, Corey. He's a master shrimp breeder. On ours, we have 3 different memberships here. This is he was his fishing tactics. Good morning, Monster Fish Gals. So here's the Minnesota Great Get Together right there. There's the website. So if you want to go on this website right below here for the Minnesota shows, this shows on the second page who's all attending for vendors. So if you want to click on their links and see what they're all doing, support everybody. That's super cool.
Now, how many tables do we have left?
We have, let me look here. So Linda, I love Linda from Minnesota Plantarella. She has been working her butt off, which this week I have not gone over and bugged her too much. We have 6 open tables. Six open 10-foot by 10-foot sections. We call them tables because it's going in there. Can't call them a booth because it's not technically a booth. So we have 6 there. We have 1 vendor that hasn't paid yet, but they have a show this weekend, so I don't want to bug them too much. But we have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. We have 43 vendors showing up.
Wow. That's great.
It's super cool. I am super stoked. I do want to say this, guys. Thank you. This was something where normally it was going to be a get-together, which turned to a barbecue, which is turning on to a full-blown event center or event. Yes, I would like to have this on an indoor section next year. But for right now, this is going to work for us. It's not too late. You have until, I want to say, I think we said the end of May to go over and book your tables. The tables are $35. You get an 8-foot table, 2 chairs. You can bring your own tent and everything else. We come up with a bio. We do some promoting for you. $35 is not that much. I think we might go over. We said May 31st, so we can spend a month of, or no, I'm sorry, April April. I think it was April 31st. So we can advertise for a month. I would like to hurry up and close this up so we can start advertising more. So we have to get up flyers. We have to get everything else. I do have these little small flyers here at the store for anybody, any of the vendors that want to stop by the store and pick up these flyers that they can pass them out to their friends, family, whoever. That's completely fine. I got a bunch of them. So, and the person that made them, I love to give a shout out to. I'm trying to think of, it's Jadron Aquatics. I can't remember his business name for printing, but if you have any printing needs, Jadron Aquatics, he has a printing company. He'll give you good deals and stuff.
Yeah, they're nice little card. I brought.
Should I grab one?
Yeah, you grab one, and I'll talk for a second. So we, last time I was down to Minneapolis and saw Joe, I grabbed a couple of them and stuff. And now for the Aquarium Guys podcast, we were shooting commercials for that here the other night. So they'll eventually be listed. We're shooting commercials. I was telling them that we're going to have on the Aquarium Guys podcast. So we'll get the word out as far as we can throw it. So
I'll pull the Vanna White. So this is the size of a mouse. Well, I got big hands. So I can't really compare to my hands. It's the size of a little bit bigger than a dollar bill. So it's super cool. We have the event on here. We have things that are happening. We have like the smaller print that, it says local food trucks, amazing local vendors, artists, makers, sellers, tables, activities, plant swap, etc. It has all that stuff. Has our back little get together thing here. I am going to get a hold of Danny. Danny's going to make some t-shirts. We are going to have limited t-shirts, limited. So the price of t-shirts did go up a little bit, he said. So what we're going to do is I'm going to probably make 20 or 30 t-shirts. And then what we're going to do is we're going to allow people, if they want to book more t-shirts, we can book more t-shirts and we ship them. I've done this before at other shows where I ran out of t-shirts. I'm like, look, we can do this, and we ship it. It's a lot easier that way because then we know the right sizes. Because the problem I end up having is when I order t-shirts, I'm thinking large and extra large are the ones that go fast. But then all of a sudden, we have a bunch of younger people come in and say, hey, I want mediums, and I run out of mediums. So we can give you the t-shirts. Don't worry about that. So here's a little tip. It's gonna be that little cool little design up there.
So Joe, if somebody orders a t-shirt after the fact, can they pick out different colors or not?
Yes. If they want to, for the t-shirt.
Right, t-shirt, like after the fact, you're going to show up with one color.
Yes, we're going to show up with one color because that's where we get the price break is when we order quantities of one certain color. After the fact, I do believe Danny said that we could pick different colors in the future. I know my dad likes white, so he always wants a white t-shirt. I'm just like, I like wearing gray. So a lot of my t-shirts are gray, black, that type. That's my personal color. Plus, when I spill my food when I'm eating, you can't see it that often.
There you go. Yeah, we're getting shirts made too for the show from the Aquarium Guys, and immediately I went to black because that's what I love black shirts and I love the gray too. And my first thing my wife said is, "You're going to melt outside in the sunshine with a black shirt on."
Well, it's supposed to be 70 degrees, right. So I still have to go to Costco and I have to pick up a tent for my dad. So this is what we're doing. We're going to have food trucks there. So Ice Cream Dreams, they raised his rent, so he shut down his location. He's building a new one in Maple Grove where he got a little bit cheaper rent, but he's also doing a food truck, so he's going to have a food truck. What we decided to do, and I've learned this through being a parent, that when you bring a bunch of kids to a show or Valley Fair or State Fair, food gets expensive.
Yes. And
I understand not a lot of parents want to go over and spend $12, $14 for a kid to get something and then have them take 2 bites and they're done. So what we're doing is my dad has gracefully decided to man the grill like we did in the open. That's why I have to get him a tent because he needs to get all the sun. He's going to do hot dogs for the kids. We're going to probably do a hot dog, water or soda, and a small bag of chips. We'll probably put it for like $5. I think that's a decent price. It pays for the food coming in, and this gentleman here has gracefully said that he'll donate all the hot dog buns. So what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's more cost effective for a family if they want to come to eat and spend the afternoon with us. I really thought that was a great idea that you came up with. So
It's just something where it's like, if the adults still want to go to the food truck, go to the food truck, please. I just know, like, when I was going out to eat and with the kid, it's like $10. And then they have macaroni and cheese. They take 2 bites. Where's my chocolate milk? Drink all the chocolate milk, and then they're full. And you're looking at it like, dude, I spent $10 on macaroni and cheese, which I could have made at home for $1.49.
Right.
Okay, I'm pretty cheap, I guess.
You are. You're a cheap butt. Cheap butt.
I'll tell you that. So I would go over and we would go to a restaurant called Mongo's, and kids 4 and under would eat for free. I was passing Jersey off as a 4-year-old. So, but now I can't do it because now if I say, oh, no, I'm not 4, I'm 6.
I love the honesty, yeah?
It is, but it saves $10, $11 on food. You know, it adds up. So we had Fish and Tantics. Good morning here. Trying to get all here. Aquarium Guys. Here's a Aquarium Guys podcast. We're going to pop that one up there. Please hit the thumbs up. Glory said. I don't like white. We're in your coffee mug. You're not in my coffee mug. There's nobody in my coffee mug. That's my dad. He's asking me. So he got me this big old 30-ounce coffee mug. I love it. I haven't used it yet, but for one, I can't fit this underneath my Keurig. So I'm gonna have to fill this up at home. Although today I didn't have that much time at home to make a bunch of coffee, so I just came into work and I have my small coffee cup right here. So that's where it is. Also at 11:30, 11:30, I have a producer, I think it is, a producer, whatever. She does a newspaper and she's got a magazine. She's stopping by here at 11:30 to interview me and take a look at the store and everything else.
So we need to cut her off early today.
Well, that's 11:30. I told her to come here at 11:30. She goes, "Can I come at 11?" I'm like, "Can you make it like 11:30?"
You can. You come. You watch me talk to everybody on the TV.
That's fine. You can just stop on in and stuff. So
bring some coffee and a roll. Some caramel rolls would be good.
Ooh, caramel rolls do sound good. Yeah. Now, last year when I went down to Louisiana, everybody talked up Café du Monde, and they talked up beignets. So if nobody has ever had a beignet is like a square donut in concept. Okay, I know everybody's gonna say it's not a donut. I get it. It's a square pastry. How's that sound? And everybody talked up like, "Oh, Joe, when you go down there, you have to get this and you have to get this." Now, I went down there and we had someone that I was sponsoring before pick me up, and they brought. I don't want to say generic beignets, but they're generic beignets because they're not come from Café du Monde. I wasn't impressed. I'm like, dude, it's a square donut. And then when Eric and I are leaving, they actually have a Café du Monde in the airport. So I went there and I ordered 4 of them and I bought a bunch of the coffee cans. I wasn't impressed. I'm sorry, Louisiana. I wasn't impressed. So everybody said, well, you went to the wrong one. You have to go to the original Café du Monde. So I'm going to try and do that this year, to go to the original one. It's just, I'm a foodie. And everybody talked this tone it up like I was going to bite into it and it's going to be like, oh, and it wasn't.
Not even close. You know, the last time we were down in Louisiana, which kept throwing me off, is we would go get gas or go to a C-store, grab a pop or something, and they'd have the boiled peanuts.
Yes, I bought some.
How are those?
I bought a can of them. I haven't opened them up.
I but they actually had them fresh, boiled peanuts sitting there.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're fresh. So when I stay at the Holiday Inn in Slidell. It's right by the event center. So the Uber's taking me there, and I saw the strip mall and everything. I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot of stuff to do. Keep in mind, I'm super early. I got an early flight. I wanted to go tour. I check my bag in and stuff, and I come down, and I start looking around. So they had a bad flood. Everybody knows about their bad flood. That strip mall, everything was shut down. There wasn't nothing there except for a gas station. Taco Bell was closed that day. They had a Wendy's, but it was only drive-through only. You couldn't even go inside, because this is during the pandemic. So I'm down there walking. I have a whole entire day to kill. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I had to walk through the Wendy's drive-through to order a cheeseburger so I could eat something. So because the Holiday Inn, the kitchen wasn't open at that time. But yeah, it's one of those things where it was unique, which I called the hotel and I like, hey, is this going on? Like, oh no, we've changed completely since last year. You're gonna like it down here now, And I was just like, okay, I'm coming down.
Bring your checkbook. Let's do it.
Bring your checkbook. We got a lot of stuff for you to buy.
Have you ever done the cemetery tour? Did that the last time we were down in Louisiana. We're in New Orleans, and we went on a cemetery tour because the water depth, the water table in the ground is so high that they bury them above ground, and they have the big mausoleums and stuff.
Yeah.
And we went in a black hearse buggy behind a horse. Kind of weird. And
so that's what you feel like on all the movies that you see them running around and stuff and shooting and everything else is down in those cemeteries like that.
Yeah, exactly like that. That's where they shoot a lot of that stuff. They actually told us that at this particular cemetery that we were in, that there had been 14 or 15 movies shot here, in the last 20 years. And it's just almost kind of eerie. And then they have a lot of those, I don't know what you call them, those big birds that are out in the ocean, but they're inland and they're on top of the tombstones and stuff. Just kind of eerie and creepy. It was kind of fun.
I should see if we got time to do that. I could take some video down there. I got my drone. So Lori goes over and says, definitely have to do the cemetery tour. So I'm going to I have to look up a few things. So we got. All right. And here's another thing. If anybody's down in Louisiana, so I collect liquor. I collect alcohol. I'm not talking like just cheap alcohol. I like collecting liquor to a point where I like having it and everything else. So if anybody's out in Louisiana that has a source of like a proper moonshining place where they have a nice bottle and everything else like this, please bring it to the show. I'd greatly appreciate it so I can put it in my collection. Let's sell. So yeah, I'm gonna probably make the tour.
It should. It was fun.
And then we're gonna go fishing on Monday. There's a few of us vendors meeting up with Eric and Jerry. Eric and Jerry run the event, and they decided to take us fishing. So last year they said, hey, you should come down here early. We could go fishing. I'm like, yeah, fishing. Let's go. So then I call him up, 6 months ago, and I said, hey, is that invite for fishing still open? And he's like, oh yeah, we could. So then I started reaching out to people like other vendors, like, hey, if you want to go fishing, stay an extra day. We're going to go on Monday. We're going to go fishing. I do believe we're going to go fishing on Lake Pontchartrain, and they got some cichlids wild there and stuff like this. I'm telling you.
Oh, now you're going to hurt my friends. I'm eating your friends, and you're hurting my friends.
Hey, I'm all about throwing back. That's completely fine. I mean, I eat crappie. I like walleye and stuff. I would not eat those guys. I don't have a problem throwing them back and stuff. So,
every time I watch Jeremy on TV with the big fish guy that's always out looking for the monster fish. They always talk about how good pacu is and how good piranha is and how good some of these large fish are. And I met somebody not that long ago that actually did saute an Oscar up that he had gotten from somebody. It was somebody's pet, and he decided to eat it. Kind of a backwards redneck type of guy, and he said it was phenomenal. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think I want to eat somebody's old Oscar.
River Monsters by Jeremy Wade. Thank you.
Yes, and what a wonderful thing. You see everybody over in the Amazon, and they're eating the piranha and stuff over an open fire, and I would like to try it one time, honestly.
Well, I could understand piranha because they're meat eaters. They're eating meat. But then when you get fish, there is some fish out there that are dirty fish. They're scavengers. They find out whatever, and it's just like, would it be that good or not?
Right. I was thinking to myself, like a Plecostomus I mean, I've seen them on River Monsters eating those too, and how terrible those would. I mean, are they going to taste like alfalfa? Are they going to taste like seaweed? You know, what are they going to taste like? But I guess if you're out and about and you're hungry, you're probably going to try it.
I mean, I'm willing to try anything. I mean, I will say, like, I've never had crayfish. Okay, I've never had crayfish. Okay, I've had shrimp, I've had octopus, I've had squid, I've had lobster. I will say that if I go down there and there is a crayfish boil, I will grab one and eat it. Okay, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna like it. I might even go into like some anaphylactic shock because I've never had.
Oh, you big baby, you're not gonna fall apart.
So,
I saw the other night on YouTube rice farmers down in that neck of the woods.
Yeah,
and they're raising rice.
Wild rice or white rice?
Like to be, they said rice. That's all they said. Yeah. And anyway, they were stocking crayfish out there.
Okay.
And I think they get 2 crops a year, and there's certain times actually after the crop starts growing, that's when they'll put the crayfish out there, because they said if you put it out there too early, then the birds will come in and just clean them all out.
Yeah, what show was that? I think I watched some of that.
I found that on YouTube the other night, and I thought it was quite interesting. And they were out harvesting crayfish, and then they had a crayfish.
They flood it. They have this land, and then they flood it, and then they put it. They harvest. They put it. Yeah, I think I watched some of that.
Yeah, and so anyway, what they're doing is they're getting 2 crops out of one thing, and they're talking about how the crayfish benefit the rice, and the rice benefit the crayfish, and how they now are doubling up on their money and making a lot more money, which makes total sense. I mean, there's no work to throw a bunch of crayfish out there, but they were out there trapping them, and it was quite interesting. They had the guy who was hosting the YouTube event. I mean, he was trying to grab the crayfish, and he'd come out and he'd have 5 crayfish hanging off of his hands, and they're trying to show him how to do it. It's pretty funny. But then they actually have a crayfish factory where they're bringing in these big, I call them onion bags, potato bags, the mesh bags and they'd have 50 to 75 pounds of crayfish in there. And then they would throw them all on the conveyor belt, and they would go through, and the conveyor belt then would slowly open up, and it would size them. And the small ones then would go back into the next year's crop, and then the big ones would be harvested and sold. And
they were soaking them too, so anything that they ate would go through their systems.
Yes, it was quite a process, and the equipment looked to be ancient, but I mean, they said it's efficient. Why, there's nothing to fix here. They said this thing works great.
So I wonder if they put them with the rice, if they fed them blueberries. You know how like when you have, well, I don't know if there's any hunters out here, but sometimes when you have wild game eating certain things, they can enhance flavors, so they can make it worse. So I wonder if like on the crayfish, when they had the rice, if they fed them blueberries, they'd like wild rice and blueberries. That's a nice.
There you go. I mean, like everybody in this neck of the woods deer hunts, and I grew up in North Dakota where all the deer are corn fed, and they taste completely different than all the deer around here that taste like pine cones.
Pine cones and soybeans and everything else.
Right.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you. Here's my favorite since my dad's here. We went deer hunting when I was younger. Okay, and my dad's very competitive. And the place where I was deer hunting, it was like an old fish house. Shantae, so it was like a small, like whatever. I went in there, my dad was in here, and I heard a bam, and then a bam, and a bam. So I end up walking over there, and my dad's like all sitting. He's getting up there in age and stuff like this. So I mean, it's been quite a few years, but he was still up there in age then. So he ended up saying, "I got one. It's yonder." So I went out there. It's a beautiful buck, beautiful, big rack and everything else. It's actually, if you come to the store, his name is Ralph. I actually have a head shoulder mount at my store. My dad got it, and we took it back, and we scun it out, and lo and behold, so this is my story, and I'm sticking with it. The dog, Grandpa Ralph has a dog. He had a black lab. This dog would not even eat it. Wouldn't eat it. What happened was someone went over and shot it across the brisket and it had an infection. It smelled. It was bad. So I know my dad goes over and says, "Oh, it's that far away and I got it." I think that deer was holding up the sign like, "I got an infection. Put me out of my misery, please." Like, you guys might not be all for hunting and stuff like this, but here in Minnesota, this is a big part of our culture that we end up, certain people's culture, that we do a lot of hunting with family and stuff like this, and that's what I remember. So please, if you're not for it, please don't hold it against me. This is one of those things. That's what I cherish. That's what I remember. I remember fishing. I remember hunting with my dad and stuff. Okay, that's just what I do. And I think it was one of those things where it was probably limping along. So I mean, it was a far off.
Heard the gunshot and had a heart attack. Probably just died of a heart attack. Just went, "Oh my God!"
What do you mean? Don't say sorry, wrong deer. Are you serious? That was the right deer. I don't know. That was the right deer because I had to drag it out. I had to drag it out. But
I'm not a deer hunter, but I've gotten 3 deer with my car. And they're elusive creatures, 80 miles an hour. You just troll right over them on the highway. I've totaled out 3 vehicles by hitting deer up here.
He says nope.
No.
He says nope.
No.
Yep. That's my story.
And
I'm sticking to it. But I will say this right now. Like, my dad remembers the first grouse I got. I mean, that's the thing. So growing up, like, we're in a small rural town, Kimball, Minnesota. My dad worked and stuff like this, and he allowed me to take like a week off of school every single winter, and we would go trapping. And we go trapping for mink and muskrats and stuff. We went with Tom Zenner, which we called the Magnum PI. He looked like Tom Selleck. And then I go with my dad and then myself, and I had so much fun. I remember those moments. And that's what matters is creating the moments for you to remember.
Creating memories.
Exactly. So I didn't care about sports or anything. Like, I did sports, but I didn't care about, like, if my dad couldn't go to it. I remember, like, the things I enjoyed a lot. And I enjoyed hunting and I enjoyed fishing and stuff. So I remember those moments that we ended up doing, going Lake of the Woods, going to Mille Lacs Lake, going to just random things. And I couldn't, remember that kind of stuff. So... And since I moved to the cities, I haven't done any of that. So,
in the Northland here, there's not much to do. I mean, that's a lot of form of entertainment for people is hunting, and they do use the meat. I mean, people
we don't waste. Yeah, we don't waste. We use it all.
People love or hate hunting and stuff. And then in the same sense, they'll say, "Oh, hunting is bad," but let's go to McDonald's and have a hamburger. There's not a whole lot of difference, but I respect everybody's opinion, on stuff like that. But some people hunt and fish. My brother's a big fisherman. He gives my wife and I a ton of crap because we go to a lot of rock concerts, and but there again, we're creating memories. I mean, some of the best memories I have are meeting some of these rock stars and whatnot, and just what a fabulous time that we've had over the years with meeting the different people. So, I mean, that's what we enjoy. My brother has got a $30,000 boat, hasn't been in the water for 2 years because he's too busy at work. So it's all about what you enjoy, and do it while you're young. Nobody's getting any younger.
That's the thing. If you can create memories with your family and everything else, that's what's going to hold the test of time. So like my dad had the shoulder mount. We had it up at our cabin. Then my dad sold the cabin, and then when he moved up there, it was sitting in the garage. So, of course, my stepmom was like, "Get rid of it! Get rid of it!" So they were going to give it away, and I said, "I'll just take it." Can't go in my condo. So I was like, I'll just put it in the store. It's completely fine. Hey, Carrie. So I put it in the store, and I had it out in my previous store. I had it right by my desk, and kids would be like, "Hey, where's the rest of the deer?"
What's his name? Is it Bandy?
Ralph. He actually has a name, Ralph.
Ralph.
So then I went over, we put it in our back room here. So when you walk into the back room, it's actually looking right over your head. It's kind of funny. It looks at the security cameras. So yeah, it's just one of those things where he's got some other mounts and stuff, which I wouldn't mind having. But that's just a memory that I like, that I hold and everything else. I mean, I would have never thought growing up I'd be sitting where I'm sitting right now. That's the biggest thing. If you would have asked me in 2016, would I be doing this? Somebody like, what are you talking about? You know, I was breeding horses and training horses. That's what I was doing. And then in 2017, if you would have said, you know, hey Joe, freaking, you would have all this Pokemon. I used to call it Pokemon, and I used to be corrected all the time. Like things change over time. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, so we got a couple more people that stopped in here. I was waiting for this. I actually fell for this. It said loading, so I'm sitting here waiting for his name to load. So yeah, it says loading on there. That's his name right there. And then we have here. We have Anj
from the Philippines.
That came in here. Of course, we have Carrie from Science Scale Aquatics. Super hello. So yeah, it's something where it's like if you have kids, like cherish the time with your kids right now, because you can never get that back. You know, if you have an opportunity to create memories, create those memories. You know, that's when I look back, you know, as an adult now, because I am technically adult. I may act like a kid, but I am technically an adult. Okay? Yeah. Technically I am. It's about creating memories. And that's the biggest thing. And some people go over and they miss those memories all the time. And it's just like, well, you can have work and you can work, but if you're not creating some memories down the road, that's what sucks. There's also a lot of parents that aren't around by their kids. And it's kind of a touchy subject, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you have a kid, you took the time to make that child with your loved one, regardless if you guys work out or you don't work out, at one moment in time, you cared enough with that person to make a child. You had a logical choice to wear protection or anything else. So if you produce a child, please be there for the child. Because what happens is, you may not think the kid remembers stuff, but the kid remembers stuff later on in life. You know, I have memories back when I was 5 and 6 years old and stuff like this, like vivid, like they were yesterday. So the thing is like, if you can create a good memory for that child to remember, please be there for your child. I know I'm preaching right here.
That's good life lessons. Good life lesson.
It's just one of those things where it's like,
I'm gonna grab something and I'm gonna tell you one quick story about a life lesson. I'll be right back.
Not a problem. I'm dealing with like the little Jersey and stuff, little 6-year-old that her father's not there. And it's sad that I knew this gentleman to a point where she looks so forward to seeing him and he's just not there. You know, like he was supposed to go to her birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and she sat there the whole time looking over his shoulder. Is that my dad? And he never showed up. Shame. So, what's up? What's your story?
Well, you're talking about making memories and that sort of thing. As you know, we love the rock and roll at our house, and we go to a lot of rock shows and stuff. And a lot of these rock stars, you're in and out really quick. And but this one particular night, we went to a show, and at the time was not a huge fan of this man. And so at the end of the show, we went and did a meet and greet with him. Mm-hmm. And we anybody that does a meet and greet with any rock star or movie star, if you stand in line with a bunch of people, be last. Because if you're last, you'll have more of a chance to talk to that person. And so every time we do a meet and greet, we try to be last. Well, we were last, and then this gal came behind us, who was probably 25 years old. And anyway, she was just crying, and we said, "Oh, you're really excited to meet this guy?" And she goes, "Yeah, not really." We go, "What do you mean not really?" She goes, "Well, my mom was his biggest fan in the world, and we were going to come to the show together, and she died 3 weeks ago. And my husband made me come to the show. So my husband and I are here with my mom and mine ticket because she wanted me because she loved this guy so much. And anyway, so rather than get behind her, when we went in and we met this rock star, and we said to him, say, by the way, so there's a gal behind us whose mother was the biggest fan of yours, and she just lost her mother 3 weeks ago. And if you could spend just a little bit extra time with her, it'd be greatly appreciated. And he goes, "Are you friends with them?" And we said, "No, we just talked to her outside." And he said, "Oh, that's all I need." He said, "Thanks for the heads up." He said, "Why don't you guys stick around for a minute? Just stand over in the corner." And he said, "What's her name?" I said, "I don't know, but she's got a blue coat and a hat on." And so he told his guy, he said, go out and get this particular gal. And so he comes in, and he's a big, tall, lanky dude. And she walks in and he goes, "Hey, sweetheart, I hear you just lost your mom." And the tears just started to flow and stuff. And he goes, "Come here." He goes, "I have a hug for you from your mom." And he wrapped his big arms around her and he rocked her for a minute and a half. And then he turned to us and she goes, "How do you know?" And he goes, "Well, these nice people told me about it and stuff. And is your husband with you?" And she goes, "Yeah." He points at me. He said, "Can you go get her husband outside?" And anyway, so I went out to get her husband, invited him inside for this meet and greet. And meanwhile, this gentleman had sent somebody out to get CDs, hats, shirts, and loaded her up, and then loaded us up after the fact. And he says to me after the fact, after he spent about 15 minutes with this woman, he said, "This is the only reason I do this, because it's for the fans anymore. It's not that I need the money." And this particular guy was Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Wow.
And that's that night that we were with Dee Snider. It was a solo show. And that's my wife and I with Dee Snider. And if you look, he's very tall. If you look at his knees,
Yeah, he is.
His knees are down. And now, fast forward 2 years after, we go to Twisted Sister's last show in the continental United States, which was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Mm-hmm. And anyway, we go there and we got to talk to Dee a little bit more. And we talked about that night. I said, "Do you remember the night?" He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I really don't." He said, "But it happens a lot." He says, we started talking about some more, and then he did remember and stuff. And so then he got the band out, and then that's Twisted Sister and Dee Snider and us again 2 years later. And he still remembered it, about how much fun he had talking to that gal. So, I mean, it's just about making memories and stuff. And so me not being a huge fan of Twisted Sister or Dee Snider, now after seeing what a great human being he is, I'm a huge fan. So life lesson 101.
Yeah. So here's another one. Since we're talking about that, let's talk about I'm kind of rewinding back to my pictures on here. Oh, my phone is kind of like, it's like my Rolodex of what happened in my life since I had this phone. Since I had this phone. We went to, it was 2018 Aquatic Experience, New Jersey, I think it was. I want to say that's the date and stuff. And we went over and we were staying at the Holiday Inn. This is like Manny from JBJ. We had Gabrielle from Dennerley that flew in from Germany. We had Matthias from Dennerley as well. We went out there and we were sitting. Here it is. We were sitting at the bar. So okay, let's back this up a little bit. I got 4 hours to tour New York. So Manny says, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "I want to go to the M&M world." So I wanted to pick up M&Ms. So I fill up all these different bags of M&Ms and shit like this, right?
$15 a pound.
At $15 a pound, it was expensive.
That's what it was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so I'm popping up all this big pictures right here. All right, perfect. So we're sitting at the hotel, and I'm drinking my Arnie Palmer and stuff because I don't drink. Everybody else is drinking, and I looked over to my left, and I'm like. And I looked. So then what I did is I let me just get this down right here. Stop screen. Perfect. I looked over and I turned my camera and I took a picture.
I know who that is.
Right. And then Manny kept on looking at me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Don't you know who that is?" Keep in mind, at the time I was like 42, 41. I'm the youngest in the group. Youngest. And they said no. And I'm like, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And they're like, who? And so we went outside because we all smoked back then. So we went outside and I was playing some of the bands, like Fishing in the Dark and whatnot. Come back in and we sit down. And of course, Manny, who's my brother by different mother, says, "Sir, I don't mean to bug you. I really don't. But we've been sitting here. We didn't recognize you at all. But this gentleman here has recognized you." So we end up going over and we end up sitting with him. The rest of the band came down. We had super fun. Why I mentioned the M&Ms, these guys ate all my M&Ms.
Wow. How horrible.
No, not wow. I paid $105 for these M&Ms.
Oh, you got a free meet and greet, you big wussy.
I did. And so what happened is they had a tour bus and their tour bus got a flat tire. So then they came in there and I was like the only person to recognize them. It's sad, but it's super cool. If nobody knows Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, please do it. They have a lot of albums. I don't know if you guys call them albums or singles or whatever you guys want to do.
They've been around for 40, 50 years.
Oh my God. It's just one of those things. It's just, yeah, I loved it. So I got a couple questions in here. So we had loading. You still give Biggie Bag. I know who this is. So this is Bob's son, probably. Do you still take Biggie Bags for a discount and everything else? Well, you know what, buddy? It's been since 2017. I haven't got a Biggie Bag yet from you guys. So you guys can go over and say, do you take Biggie Bags as a discount? It's from Wendy's. It's a Wendy's referral. And they're only like 2 blocks away. You never once brought me a Biggie Bag anyways in the first place. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, and then let's see some other ones here. Good morning. Papa Shrimp is in the house. Morning, Papa Shrimp. So he's got a question right here.
Lurking and working. I love it.
Yeah. Joe, so I need some advice. Emergency move. All tanks down, shrimp in bags. Best recommendations for super quick setup, substrate tanks. Like, should I buy a bunch of 4-gallon JBJ tanks to start? So here's the thing. Did you save any water? I'm going to take it like the worst case scenario, that you didn't save any water, just what you have with shrimp in the bags and stuff. Now, there is this product called Protobio. So I was notorious when I got into this hobby of, let me get straight. Hey, Dan, grab me Protobio quick. Grab me the bacteria and grab me the startup. So grab me the startup quick. Put that down. Grab the startup. Grab me the Protobio startup, and then grab me the bacteria. One of each. When I got into it, I would order stuff. And when I would order stuff, I would over order. So when the shrimp would come, I would have all these extra shrimp. I had nothing to do. Like I didn't know where to put them. I had no homes for them. So what I did is I ended up buying. Thank you. What I ended up doing is I bought 2.5-gallon tanks from Petco, and I would go over and put some soil in there. I use this product called Bacter Kit, which is the bacteria. It's a 2-vial set. And then what I did is there's this product called Startup, a 2-vial set. So what happens is this is the bacteria you're putting in there, and then what you do is this one right here, this one right here, and the top one starts the cycle, but this one binds with ammonia, so you don't get a huge ammonia outbreak. The ammonia is still in there. It doesn't make the ammonia disappear, but it binds with it. So how they advertise it is if you put this in there in a matter of 6 hours, you can put shrimp in there. So Papa Shrimp, this is my recommendation, what I have done personally. Okay. Did you save the sponge filters that you had before? If you did, awesome. Go get whatever vessel you have, 5-gallon, 10-gallon, freaking 4-gallon JBJ ones. You can message me and stuff like this. We get stuff out to you. put the soil in there, and then get yourself some of this. I can ship a bunch to you too. You just have to get a hold of me. Put this in here, wait 6 hours, then put your seeded filter in there. And I've put shrimp in there, and I had baby survival with that, even pregnant ones and everything else. And that's how in my store, kids ask me all the time, is that a battery in your tank? No, it's these vials. I swear up and down by these vials. I sell them on my website. I love them. Francois is bringing me a bunch down at Aqua-Fest. I have a bunch here at the store, but there's some that I'm missing. I go through these tons. I swear up and down by these. So that's what I would do.
And he said it's an emergency move. And
Papa Shrimp has an emergency move.
I mean, the thing is, if you're moving across country, or you're just moving down the street, but I mean, I have gone to the point where I needed some extra tanks, and I've gone to the Walmart and bought the plastic. What do you call those? Little totes. And the thing I like about those is you can get 12 of them stacked up, this high. It takes no room. And so if you're cramped for space in your move, let's say you have to move in your car and you've only got so much space, 12 of those will fit nicely somewhere versus the 2.5 gallon. I love the 2.5 gallon and 5 gallon tanks, glass, but they don't stack. They don't ship.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering because what he brought up is he brought up the JBJ, the 4 gallon tanks. So I take it that he already had a move. They're just sitting in the bags. That's what I'm taking it as. And the thing is, I can get you those tanks. We can have them shipped out to you right away and stuff. And then he says, "What's your favorite substrate?" I'll eventually get a real rack set up, trying to keep my shrimp alive and transition. Buying a faucet to replace a new faucet with tiny aerators that don't fit RO. So how I do stuff with an RO system. Let me get that part. I have all these parts. One second.
He's the MacGyver of shrimp, this guy. Hey, while Joe's gone, let's all check out his Pokemon cards and let's see what we can sell online and make some money while he's gone. Nope, everybody quiet.
All right, so this is what I swear up and down with RO systems. So Bulk Reef sponsors me as well too, so I know a lot of their products. So when you buy an RO system, there's quite a few different hookups you can. So the substrate is a lot. I'll get that in a second. So when you purchase an RO system, they usually have a garden hose adapter, or they have the faucet screw on. What I like to do is underneath the sink, if we go underneath the cabinet here, there's 2 valves, a hot water and a cold water shut off. Okay, they're majority of them are 3/8 inch. Now, if you have PEX line, we have a whole entire PEX line system for this too. But I'm talking about the old reach underneath, like it looks like the toilet valve for shutting the toilet water off. Okay, if you shut the valve off and you unscrew the sink, there's this nifty little kit. Right there's the number. Okay. 3/8 inch. That's the big thing. You shut the water off. You unscrew the sink. You then screw this adapter piece on. Right. And then you screw the sink part on. Then you take this nifty piece and you plug it in. Right. There's the hole for your RO system, the water coming out. And then when you want to make water, you turn the valve. When you don't want to make water, you shut it off. This is not making a permanent structure in your rental place. If you have a rental place, it takes you 5 minutes to hook up, 5 minutes to unhook. You can use your sink the whole entire time. You're controlling when you make the stuff. It's a super awesome piece. It's like $10. It saves so much freaking time on when you're doing this, and you have to worry about the adapters for sinks and everything else. Also, by going to use this right here, you increase your water pressure. So when you have an RO system, it is recommended to have a certain water pressure, 50 to 65 psi, depends on the RO system. But if you kind of look at it from a 1-inch line, there's so much pressure. When you squeeze it down to 3/8 inch, there's more pressure. So it actually increases your water pressure for your RO system, which you get more product water coming out. So that's what I would do, Papa Shrimp. If you want, you can give me a jingle. I have that magazine person coming here, but you can shoot me a text later on, and I'll give you a call, and we can work this all out. Favorite substrate, I use Shrimp King brand, the Dennerley brand for the substrate. I also carry the Protobio. I love both of them. I got Brightwell as well too. So it depends on what you're going for. If you're looking for like a light brown soil, I love using the Brightwell soil, the Rio Cafe. It works really good. If you're looking for larger granules, I like using the Shrimp King Dennerley line. If you're looking for the tight 1 millimeter size, I love using the Protobio, which is part of that kit right here. So if you need some of that, I got it all right there. He said he did save the water, which is cool. He's moving across town.
Not bad.
Yes, the shrimp are in bags. Brand new house with push-pull valves. Perfect. So those are called PEX line. So there is an adapter on there for PEX valves. I don't even know if I can freaking find it right here. Why don't you take over this, Jim, for a second, and I'm going to look it up right now.
All right. Well, I've used PEX line in my warehouse quite often, and PEX line is kind of just a hard rubber hose, and you can run it so easily through ceiling tiles and angles, and you don't have to sit there and do 90 degree copper fittings and whatnot. And what I like about the PEX line is that it's reusable. You can take it out and reuse it somewhere else. But the downside is with PEX line, you're going to have to get a PEX line crimper, which is just a big, like a big pliers that crimps down and stuff. But once you use PEX line, you won't want to go back to anything else. So with a newer house, that's what they're going to, because it's so much more efficient and so much faster to plumb a house with PEX line. And it's rated for, I think, up to 50 years, I think, if I remember right.
It is.
Different sizes. So yeah, I was introduced to PEX line about 5 years ago. One of my friends came over and ran some extra hoses for me for my RO. So we've been in our house here about 7 years. It's fairly new, but we have the traditional type plumbing. So that's what I really like about it.
Yep. So I'm looking up here it is. I got it right here. I got to click on the picture. So there. Let me just go back to. They actually make an adapter. If you go to bulkreefsupply.com and share screen, share Murloc. There it is. So they actually have this Murloc for different sizes. So it depends. Like this is the size, like for your end result is this one right here. It's a small 1/4-inch line that comes out. So they call this the PEX line. So you would have to go over and put this in. Yes, you are going to have to shut off your water and then put this in here. And this would be a permanent piece in your plumbing system. But when you move, you can always change out that PEX line. So it is actually, there's the picture right there. It goes by different sizes, of course, when you're coming in. But I looked under PEX. It's Murloc RO PAL Pipe X Push Connect. So you're looking at $11.99 is what it's going to cost to get that piece there for your RO system if you want to plumb it directly in your line on there. So see, I can find stuff.
And that's at Bulk Reef Supply. They also ship.
Bulk Reef Supply does ship. So Papa Shrimp, if you're wanting something like this and you don't have an account with them too, you can always message me. What I'll do is I would have you get a hold of my friend Tyler. He works there. Just have him get you in contact so we can get you the right pieces. But yeah, usually that's all you need is that one little piece. But yeah, like I think you'll find if you still have the sponge filters left, because you got the water, so more likely kept the sponge filter, you can speed cycle your tanks within like a day. I always say 2 days, but I've done it in a matter of 6 hours as long as I use the startup formula on there too. But in the meantime, what you can do, because I've done this before, if you get the small Tupperware, take those bags out of shrimp, dump the shrimp in there. You can put an aerator in there if you want. And the shrimp are going to survive until your tanks are completely cycled. I mean, I've done it. I've done the emergency, like, oh, crap, I have too many shrimp type thing. Perfect. Yeah, just call me later, buddy. So, yes. So there's that. Let me just kind of close this out right there. But, yes, I am leaving tomorrow morning. I leave the store here, I think, at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going down to the airport, going to go down to Louisiana for Aqua-Fest. I'm going to share that setting one more time. Let's find it here. There it is. I just squinted. Yes, I squinted. So that's where I'm going to be. So I'm going to do some random lives when I'm down there as well, too. I'm going to be flying the drone out as well. So we'll have that all ready as well. So I hope you guys are going to come join me. When we be back from the Louisiana trip, Joe, need to find time to come see you. So I am coming back Tuesday, let me see here. Tuesday but I probably won't be here at the store. I fly back. I might stop by the store. I land back at 11:40, and then my buddy needs to come pick me up at the airport. So I'll probably come here and stop to see how everything's doing and stuff, and then freaking yeah. So otherwise, I'll be back at the store on Wednesday like normal. So, and then that is my traveling for this month, and then next month at Dallas, Texas. So
Are you doing a live stream on Wednesday next week then?
I can. I will. You want to join?
I'm just asking. I might be doing a teardown somewhere, so I'll have to let you know.
But you can do your teardown and do it live.
Yeah, I can do that. I bought out a store, and I'm going to go get the tanks and stuff. So
nice. Oh, this customer here, perfect. But yeah, like I can do it live. I'll do it live next Wednesday. I'll pop it up. I'll create the link and stuff. Maybe I'll take some pictures and see if I can. I got to figure out how I can go over and like. I do a lot off my phone, but then when I do my lives here, I do it at my computer. I got to figure out a way that's really fast. So I can just go, here's some pictures right here versus like Dropbox. Okay. So Dropbox, whatever, all those different things. But yeah, I'm going to be launching the Liquid Gardens brand down there. So if you're down in Louisiana, and you want to get some awesome fertilizer that are made here in Minnesota, bottled here in Minnesota, swing on over there. I got tons of plants too. Now, when I say I'm bringing lots of plants, I'm bringing lots and lots of plants. I think I'm bringing 100 tissue cultures, and I want to say at least $1,200 in wholesale plants down there. And if there's any other plants, I'm going to end up bringing them over to the store here. That's why the plant count is kind of low here. I got lots of Anubias. But yeah, I'm going to be bringing it back. So KJE Aquatics, hola, ¿cómo estás?
hola.
Yes. So Monster Fish goes like, hey, Keith, how you doing? So with that, guys, if there's anything else, can you think of, Jim?
No, I was just I'm really excited to hear some stories when you get back from Louisiana, and I'm looking forward to seeing what new products show up down there. I know there's always something that surprises me. Every time I go to a show, there's something new.
Yeah.
That excites
there's a lot
me.
of companies that are going down there. You got Francois coming down there. You have Dymax is going to be. There's a lot of different things. So I have part of my suitcase is empty for me to bring back a bunch of stuff for our show for donations and stuff. That was my big things. I'm going to go to these shows. I'm going to grab donations for our show in Minnesota for people. So
you need a lot of bags to come home.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I got two big bags. So with that, guys, I want to say I love you all. I hope you guys have a shrimptastic day. Jim, if you're free for next Wednesday, let's pop a live. Guys, I will be doing random lives and random videos while I'm down in Louisiana. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to talk to Eric Owens about a cemetery tour when I get down there, but I am going fishing, so I am going to pop on the camera as well when I'm fishing. It's roughly the same temperature, but I wonder if I should bring it. I'll burn my head. I don't care. So, guys, I love you very much. Have a shrimptastic day.